Yeah, it's really easy to handle right now. We're locked in on Cleveland. We're full speed ahead, kind of keeping our head down in the dark. That's, all that stuff. I'm very grateful. I'm thankful to the Lord for giving me this opportunity. I'm thankful to Nick and DeMeco and the Texans organization for putting me in this position. But right now I'm a Houston Texan. I'm part of this organization. I'm going to do everything I can to help us win Cleveland. And like everyone's energy right now in this organization is devoted to how do we play one more game? How do we keep just playing one more game? We really have what I believe is a special group of individuals. I know, like, offensively, there's guys in that room that I just can't imagine having to do this without right now, and to really, as much as we can, just find a way to get 4 more games out of this. That's really all of us are devoted to.
How are you supposed to be selective about this process? Are you taking all the interviews?
Haven't even thought about it. Like I won't have much information for you guys. I'm being honest. Like it's just everything right now is on Cleveland. Yeah, no, I was floored. Like you can actually see. CJ told me you could see my reaction on tape. Like I thought it was a special play by 2 guys that are just incredible football players. When he let it go, I had an idea of what he was doing. I was standing way in the back, so I could kind of see all the eligibles. And Nico happened to break right when CJ was letting it go, but it looked like CJ maybe changed where he was going with the ball mid throw. And when he first let it go, I thought it was just a safe throwaway. And then as it was hanging in the air, I thought it had a chance. And then Nico made an unbelievable catch. And I think I lost my mind for about 5 seconds, and guys had to get me back ready to call the next play. It was an incredible play by 2 really good players on a critical drive in the game. Yeah, obviously he's been a stud. He's been a wide receiver 1. He's went out and he's performed. Anytime he has a one-on-one, he's taking advantage of the opportunity. We've gotten to a point now where I think it's hard to find one-on-ones for him. We're still trying to find ways to make sure that he's going to be able to touch the ball, whether that's down the field or that's behind the line of scrimmage. He's affected the game in both ways. He's affected the game as a down-the-field threat, as an intermediate threat, and then really even as a catch-and-run guy. He's taken such great strides just from where he was the last couple of years, watching him on tape. It's been really fun to watch and be a part of, and it changes our team. You can see it spread across the whole offense in the culture of what we're doing. Yeah, I think Julio is a good comparison. I personally was never with Julio, but, it's someone that's really big, really fast, really strong, has great hands, is good at routes, They're different types of players a little bit, but there's a lot of similarities there also, so that makes a lot of sense to me. Like anytime you have someone like that and then the right kind of person, and Nico is an unbelievable individual, and they're about the right things and they put the work in, you're always excited to see what they do, and then he's far exceeded anything I think any of us could have imagined. I think that's a huge credit to him. That's a huge credit also to Ben McDaniels, and it's a huge credit to the guys we have in the wide receiver room, because I do think, as much as us coaches think we have some part in it, I think more than us, it's the players around him that affect that. It's Robert Woods, it's Noah Brown, it's John Mechie, it's Hutch, it's all the guys that he's with every day that they have conversations in the locker room with, that they talk about and hang out with after practice, that they catch jugs with. Like, there's just so much growth and mentality and mindset and things that are developed when you do that with people you care for. It's been really fun to see. Yeah, it's been, I've said this before, but DeMeco's always been the same guy, and I get the feeling even when he was here as a player and everyone called him Cap, he was the same guy even back then. You just can tell the kind of person he is. How infectious his attitude is, how much he cares about any time you're having a conversation with him, how in the moment he is having that conversation with you, and how much he cares about the people around him, and in particular when he's on the team, how much he cares about the team and the individuals in the team, not just like the team as a whole. And to be able to see him do what he's doing here and affect all of the Houston Texans, affect me, and do it all in a positive light, in a positive way, and really pull the best out of you every day in different ways. He has a lot of different motivation tactics, a lot of great ways of approaching it, a lot of great stories. He's I can't express enough how much that guy means to me. I mean, he's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Cleveland's a tough defense. They're number one in like every statistical category for a reason. Obviously, our last game against them, we didn't play our best. We know that, but I think we all get excited anytime CJ's under center. You can see what he does. You can see how efficient in his decisions and when he's throwing, where he's going with the ball, how efficient he is in that stuff, and in particular how much he's grown in understanding like when is the right time to be aggressive and when's the right time to just make sure I'm getting the ball out, which I thought he did a phenomenal job against Indianapolis doing exactly that, and that's something we just got to carry over into this week. Anytime you face a tough front, we got to be willing to distribute the ball pretty fast and then take advantage when we get opportunities. We got to make sure we're hitting those opportunities down the field. I like to talk about our offensive meetings as like they're kind of truth sessions. We're very real with each other, and that's me being real when I'm coaching them. If they do really well, I tell them they do really well. If they struggle, I let them know they're struggling, and I also take ownership when I think I put them in a horrible position, which happens through the course of a season. And we have very real dialogue with each other. But the other part of that is they know how to prepare, and they understand what they're watching. They know how to watch film. They know how to watch it in the right way, study in the right way, where every time we have, like, our staff has a conversation with our offense, like they're very educated in what they're saying. It's something that we always are going to pay attention to because we know the work they've put in. We know the preparation they've put in, and we understand where we come from. I talk about it with CJ all the time, how fast we can get through conversations and arrive at answers of plays we want to get to because we can stay on the same page. But really, it's kind of that way with the whole offense, with Robert, with Noah, with Dalton, with Nico, with really everyone across the board as skills. We all kind of see it the same way. We're on the same page. We understand the intents of what we're trying to get done. So I think it's very valuable being able to get input of what's going on the field and also them hearing our input of what we see from the sidelines. A lot of trust in his receivers. They put a lot of work in and down the field stuff post-practice, and obviously we get a good amount of reps of that during practice because we do it a decent amount. But they put in work outside of just when practice is structured, which I think pays off. Our receivers have a very aggressive mindset where they know in the worst-case situation when we put the ball down the field, we're getting an offensive PI. We're not letting the defense end up with the ball. And I think that builds a lot of trust. And then beyond that, he's just immensely talented. He's really good at it. And we got some receivers that are really good at stretching the field. Yeah, it's a security blanket. I told him in training camp, I don't think he liked this term, but it's like a binky. Like anytime you feel like you're in trouble, you know where to look. And it's just a large human being in the field that you trust his hands and is going to do whatever he needs to do to get open and separate enough for you to give him a friendly ball. And Dalton's he's the motto of consistency. He every day in third down, in the run game, just all the way across the board, he's as consistent as it gets and just endlessly putting on tape what we want as far as an eligible. And quarterbacks see that. And that just builds the trust even without them talking. And then on top of that, they have a relationship off the field. They have a good time talking to each other and hanging out off the field. So I think that's a lot of it is, the consistency of showing on tape how often you're open and you're in the right spot and where you need to be. And then the off the field relationship only grows that. It's been fun to see, rarely has it felt like we've had a consistent five out there. It's really been the whole offensive line room. And how they've gone out and they've performed every week. They've understood and taken to heart that we're going to do everything we can to make sure our quarterback doesn't get hit. And in the run game, we're going to do everything we can to make sure Motor and DP have some holes they can run through. It means a lot to them, and it's a very, very different scheme than what was here before. And there were some growing pains along the way, without a doubt. And the lack of continuity took a little while, but where we are now from really where we were like early in the season, watching the Week 2 Indianapolis game again, and some of the other games early on. The growth across the board has been awesome, in particular in the O-line room. It's just been really fun. Like Juice Scruggs is out there playing, growing, getting better, and I mean, he took it felt like 12 weeks off of football. Like I mean, it's just it's a really cool room. They care a lot about each other. They care a lot about the guys they're playing with. They care a lot about the quarterback, and they make sure they do everything they can to put that on tape.